Hey everyone, how you doing today? Sorry I was away the last couple days. Again, didn't get a lot of stuff done, but I did jam on this thing and really try to get it ready. And my plan now is to release it tomorrow. I just wanted to run it by you one more time. So what I'm trying to do now is test it, but I would just wanted to go over some changes, a lot of changes based on the comments. Um, so let's start there. First, one of the comments suggested that it needs more reverse thrust. So what I did do is I added 6 additional 1x3 reverse thrusters on here. Another comment was give it a like a performance mode, so you can switch off a lot of the thrusters when you're not using them and whatnot. So it also has that now. So in the P menu here, we have 3 different options. There's one for drills, performance mode, and then the spotlight. So if I turn on performance mode, then it kicks on all the thrusters. If the performance mode is off, it only runs these 6 as you reverse. It turns off this one. It turns off half the strafing, half the lift, and half of the forward thrust. I couldn't really mess with the down thrust due to I only have 2 thrusters. If I turned off one, it would look silly, quite frankly. So it does have that mode now. The spotlight is on a P menu option, which is usually more convenient for gameplay versus a manual switch, which I always like to do. But they just, yeah, I'd rather have it in the P menu control for gameplay myself. Another thing I added is when you do land, this lower retractable turret does retract automatically by from the landing gear. So when it's parked there, that disappears, which I think is kind of neat. It makes a neat little sound when you land too. On the inside of here, I changed it around a little bit, not too much. Did get the LCDs in place, so we've got all our components and pieces and stuff like that. I reversed where the fuel tanks and the shield were. This is where I come into the one problem that I just cannot fix, no matter what I do, and that is the rad you'll get from either the fuel tank or the shield if you walk within 1 block area of it. So that's why I got the caution stuff around the floor here, and if you walk on this path over here on the side, you won't pick up any rads. If you get too close to this, you'll get 7 rads. No heat jump, but you'll get 7 rads. And whether I put the fuel tanks there or the shield, it doesn't matter. Both parts do the same kind of thing and give you some problems. It's not big enough though. I can't move this. I got no place to move it to. Beyond these walls are thrusters and generators and things like that, and there's no other place to put a shield or fuel tanks or anything like that. I already had to like put the generators out over in those areas and keep those not visible. The Petaxa tank is right here underneath the couple of these shutter doors, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So what I was doing is testing this, and I'm on a here. Let me show you the planet. I'm in the creative scenario, and I went to the alien planet, and the alien planet has 4.29 gravity. Right now I've got this loaded up with pretty much its maximum storage capacity of 32K for harvest. I also got ammo in it for the miniguns. Petaxid in here. I got the shield on right now. And in the console, by hitting the tilde, basically what I did is I switched it from going, if you type in CM, it's a toggle. So right now I'm technically in creative, hit CM again, then I go into survival mode. So in survival mode, I hope this is right, but it feels right because I know when I load this ship up, it flies different. That weights and volumes are on, and that's mainly what I wanted to test. So right now I'm in high performance mode on this particular high gravity planet. If I go to the harvest box, I got this thing loaded up pretty much to its max here, 32,000. It's running 31,980 something. So I got 774 elevator blocks and some other junk in there. And basically I wanted to see how it maneuvered and flew on a high gravity planet with a full load. And I'm pretty happy that, yeah, I can maintain 74 and I still have pretty good maneuverability. if I'm mining here, and I got the shield on right now too, keep that in mind. Mining seems to be good. If I need to like pull back from mining, I've got the thrust power to do that and kind of turn and stop pretty quickly. Again, I don't know if the numbers I'm looking at are accurate. If there's something going on with the creative mode versus survival mode that isn't quite working out the same, I don't know. I do know that once I loaded more cargo into here, it did weigh it down a little bit. But even if I turn off performance mode, I can still maneuver around pretty good with the thrust here. It doesn't turn quite as fast, stuff like that, but I can still maneuver around on this high gravity planet even with performance mode off. It makes it more challenging though to stop, and like right there, I was trying to come to a complete stop, and you seem to want to crash when you're mining with performance mode off and a full capacity. Like right now I'm stuck. I'm trying to go in reverse and I can't. So when I turn this on, now I got no problems going in reverse. So I think that was a major concern, and a very justified major concern. So I'm glad I have the additional thrust on there. I don't know if it was needed. These are pretty powerful. And the way I've got it set up is when performance mode is off, it's only using these instead of those. So maybe if those were on, maybe it would work, maybe not. But having that extra power in there, I think, is a good thing. And then beyond that, I just basically textured and tried to detail the body as best I could, things like that. Now, another thing was to strip it down of parts. Now, here's take a look at the specs currently on this, and 2 hour and 42 minute build time. Here's your resources that you're going to need: 335 estrium and zirconium. It's still going to need these 8 optical matrices, and nothing else is too special, really. If I were to run around here, let me turn off the shield. Oops. Shield. Okay, you're off. I should be able to edit you. If I get rid of like a bunch of parts, oh, I can't delete stuff that way. And what if I switch back creative mode? Now I can. Okay. So say I get rid of all these drills, and let's get rid of some other things. How about let's get rid of the warp core, and let's get rid of the shield. I'll even get rid of the trauma station. That's about all that I can get rid of. I can't get rid of the thrusters or generators or anything like that. So if we take a look at the specs again, it unlocks at still level 20, and it drops it down by about 26 minutes in build time. Still require, it doesn't use as much estrium or zirconium, but it still uses 60 each. And not much else is different by removing all those parts. Basically, what I'm getting at is, I don't know, I'd rather have this intact in this case. I understand with like a starter vessel and things like that, you upgrade it, if you can unlock it at a lower unlock level and it doesn't require any of the rares, and then you add in the parts as you go. I see that, and I do that with a lot of things, especially like SVs and stuff. Most of them have upgrade options. This one though, because of the generators and thrusters it's using, removing the stuff is doing so little that I think I'd just rather have it come with it. I mean, it's obviously set up so you can add this stuff in very easily, even labeled on the inside on all the parts I removed. Where like the shield goes there and the trauma station goes there. Well, it probably doesn't need. Here, let me open this up, and I'll take out the pentaxid tank too. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. It still stays there. Dropped 1 minute. So it just doesn't help much in this case to remove the parts. I can't make it unlock at a lower level, no matter what I do, and it's just ramping up the estrium and zirconium needs by, I don't know, under 60. to have all the parts already there and set on the proper switches and everything. It's just I'd rather have it in this case just come this way. I mean, wasn't really meant to be upgraded. It can be upgraded, obviously, but since I took out the taxi tank, got a little hole there. But this is still sealed, and if you don't believe there's O2 in here, there is. There is O2 in here. So, yeah, I was a little concerned about a couple things too, but I sealed this area by having this Sutter door over the top of the taxi tank, and that's why it's holding O2. So even stripped down like this, it doesn't make hardly any difference in spawn time, build time, material costs is about the same. So I don't think there's any need to, in this case, downgrade it, to remove a lot of these parts. It's just if I get too carried away and start removing all the thrusters, man, there's nothing left of the ship. If you think about it, it's a flying cargo extension with thrusters all over the place. And if I remove all the thrusters, all you really have are big holes in this thing, like big holes. And that's terrible. I just hate seeing that. So, let's see. Let's go back here. Let me undo like everything I just did. Okay, so now we're back together again, and yeah, it's again 2-hour and 42-minute build time. It does use more Estrium and Zecosium, I guess by a couple hundred. I don't know. I mean, if the drills were gone, the drills are what's using that, I think, for the most part. Oops. Like that, and yeah, it does bring it down to 60. So about 240 difference on those. It's not intended to ever use this with mechanical drills, though. I mean, it really isn't. It wasn't. I guess you could, but I don't think I'd want to use it that way. Let me grab some mechanical drills here a minute and put those on. Just see what happens. Obviously, they're not going to be connected to the drill switch anymore unless I set those up again. Yeah, this was not the intent of it. Let's just see how this works out, though. Let's go drill something. It still works, but it's going to get you stuck. Like, I mean, you're going to have to do the same thing where you kind of like home out the area around it because it's going to be too wide to go right through a borehole. So that's why I just don't see a good point of having mechanical drills on this thing at all. They look pretty silly, and I think too for an SV like this to have mechanical drills. They do work though, and that lowers down the cost of the Estrium and Zecosium by about 240 each, and lowers down the build time by about 9 minutes. But yeah, that would be, I think, kind of a bad setup for it. It's not really intended to run with mechanical drills at all. So basically at the end of the day, I just wanted to say I think I'm going to just have it come stock with the laser drills, with all the parts in it in this case. Now most things I definitely look at trying to strip those down and get them so you can unlock them at a lower level and stuff, and I've done a lot of stuff like that. In this case, it has a very specific role of doing SV mining and able to handle high gravity stuff, and it's a higher end creation. Despite being small, it's just not a low level creation, and I can't do anything about that. It's running too big of thrusters, too big of generators, stuff like that to really make much of a difference in it. And by the time you're ready for something like this, I'm sure coming up with 300 Estrium and Zecosium won't be a big deal. So, maybe I'll at some point here make a alternative SV miner that is a cheaper one that uses smaller thrusters and things like that, maybe not designed for high gravity. Um, and that could be like the low level one. This is the like the higher level one. You know, yeah. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you where I'm at with that, and basically, I plan on releasing this tomorrow. If you got anything else you'd like to, any other comments on it, anything you can think of, to you know, something that you see wrong, or don't like. I mean, just let me know. I do take the comments. I mean, a lot of you guys know the game and play the game a lot more than I do, and you know things like, you know, you want more of this reverse thrust, especially on this kind of creation, and I get that, and that actually made a lot of sense to me when that was said. So that's why I wanted. I had a struggle to find a way to get more thrusters in here. My original plan was to add another set of these mediums down below here. There's two reasons I didn't. One, it looked bad. Two, I got generators in there, and then I had no place to put the generators. So there's actually generators up in this section here. There's no way I can, you know, obviously you can't have the generators on the inside because they create too much heat. So you gotta like throw them somewhere. And with a small creation like this, I had to put them where I had to put them. There's just no other options. Too many parts put off heat and rads, I think. Especially like fuel tanks. I don't agree that they should put out stuff like that. I mean, it's a fuel tank. Build your tank so it doesn't. I mean, don't know of any fuel tanks that put out bad things. That's why they're in a tank. The tank's supposed to stop those bad things from leaking out. But anyway, that's just my opinion on it. It doesn't make that big a difference. All I got to say is with so many parts creating so many heat and rads, especially things that like fuel tanks that I don't think should, it just requires you to either build larger creations, or if you're going to build a small creation, probably mostly try to avoid having an interior. Because you can't display any of those things anymore because of the heats and rads they put out, or you got to indent them in the wall, put glass frames over them, which you need a larger craft to do. I can't do that because this is too small to do that with. Yeah, anyway, I plan on releasing this tomorrow. I'm going to take some screenshots and stuff like that. And in fact, you know, let's try to get a screenshot right now. Let's do a fancy screenshot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my FOV to 45. Got to get back into God. Well, you fall really fast when there's higher gravity. So this gives you that kind of more cinematic approach here. And let's try to get like a, I don't know, what background looks the best? What background looks the best? I guess it doesn't really matter. It's all pretty gray and fuzzy right now. So let's grab something about maybe that angle there. And let's get a little bit closer about there. Now let's play with the lights. I didn't even turn on fog. Okay, so we either go dark or fog. Let's weather clear 1. Now we're at its native. And I can't really adjust that too much here either. Well, okay, I don't have any green pictures like this of the ship here, so let's take one like that, right about there. Bam, screenshot taken. Okay. Anyway, I'll include that in the screenshot rolls there. But there's something else I want to show you, but I'll do that on next video because this is a totally awful planet to try to show it on. I was playing around a little bit before I had all this other stuff to do, which delayed me the last week. But I was working on a different style of creating like almost like a different faction. However, it could only be used for bases, and I'll show you that. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of like experimentations with a totally different texture, material style than anything I've done yet. So it's dipping in more to something you might see in Diablo, something like that. But it only works for bases because of the use of concrete and wood blocks that you can't use in moving things. So I really couldn't create a faction with it because you can't do the faction for anything but a base. But that's another weird issue with the texturing that goes on in the game. The way the blocks and textures palettes work. It's kind of unavoidable. Anyway, I will shut up, and you guys have yourself a great day. This week also, I do plan on showing a bunch of recommended creations that I got in a list. I meant to do that last week. Last week just didn't work out very good with timing and stuff like that. So after today, I should have more time. And that's so I'll try to get that video out maybe Thursday, and then Friday I'll do the regular thing. So anyway, y'all have yourself a good day. I will talk to you later.